That's impact.
The right way.
That's impact.
The right way.
Hello and welcome to a new episode of Let's Get It Right with me, your host, Vernon Wright. Be sure to follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at The Right Leader. Hashtag That's Impact the Right Way. As you see, the title of this video is, Are You That Boss? There is a recent Forbes article that came out this fall. You'll see that information up on the screen, and it talks about the 12 traits of bad bosses. We want to make sure that we are none of those 12. So let me go ahead and make this quick statement before we get into the video. And it is this: in order to be as leaders effective, we must be reflective. Let me say that again. In order as leaders to be effective, we must be reflective. So as we go through this video and we go through the 12 points, I want you to think about a few things. Number one, do any of these things apply to you? Number two, do they apply to leaders or coworkers or colleagues that you work with? And number three, if they do not apply to you and they do not apply to those that you work with, do they apply to folks, individuals that are in your PLN on Twitter or other circles in your life? So without further ado, let's get into the 12 traits of bad leaders. This will go quick, it will go fast. You'll probably want to go ahead and watch this video a few different times, pause it, stop it, write down, take notes as we go through. Number one, micromanaging. And we know that when we hire folks to do the best job that they can do. We do not hire them to micromanage them. We hire smart people to go ahead and show us what their skills are, not to go ahead and tell them exactly what to do. That's why we hired them. That is number one, micromanaging. Number two is a one-size-fits-all approach. And I was having a conversation with someone last week about this, which is this. When I am coaching or having a leadership conversation with someone that is a veteran employee, a veteran educator, a veteran contributor, even a veteran leader, that conversation is different than I would have with someone typically that is new to the profession. So that is a customized approach, individual to each person's needs. Number three, doesn't lead by example. And this one is one that I heard years ago when I taught at a high school. I had a JROTC instructor, a senior Army instructor, explain to me, Mr. Wright, we call that participatory leadership. So if those that you lead or you have influence over never see you become or be a part of the processes that they're working on, that doesn't lead by example. And we call that participatory leadership. That is but one example. That is number three. Number four, a lack of empathy. A lack of empathy. Listen, folks, we are all professionals and we work on a lot of different things, we work on a lot of different projects, but at the end of the day, and the beginning of each day, we're human beings. So we must have empathy for those that we work with. That is number four, lack of empathy. Number five, focused on blame rather than solutions. Now this one is a balance because we do want to try to go ahead and identify the root cause, but it's never about people. It's about the symptoms, the situations, the root causes, all of the things that are surrounding this problem or this challenge, this opportunity that we're trying to go ahead and bring up a solution for. So as leaders, we identify it quickly as we can, as accurately as we can, and we switch and move forward to focusing on solutions. That is number five. Number six, and this one could be a contentious one or a hot topic. A leader uses their teams as pawns for their success. Now, let me go ahead and say this. We all know that we all as individuals want to be successful. We have that innate desire within us, and we all want to be successful as a part of a team. But when leaders use their teams to propel their own careers, they don't bring their teams with them as a part of that success or acknowledge them as a part of that success, That's evident and that's clear to those that are being led by that leader. And that is number 6. We'll touch on this in a couple of more points again, so stay tuned. Number 7 is a real quick one. It's a real easy one. Lack of focus. If you're familiar with the 4 quadrants from Dr. Stephen Covey, a lot of times we find ourselves in quadrant 1, responding to things that are critical, they're urgent. We would call that firefighting. But what I would say to you as a leader, ask you as a leader, is this: are we confusing being busy with being productive? That's a question for you to reflect on. So number 7, lack of focus. As leaders, we must be focused. There are other things obviously that are happening, but as leaders, we must be focused. That's number 7. Number 8, I told you we would come back to this from a point that came up earlier. And number 8 is takes credit for others' work. Look, folks, let's go ahead and let's be honest. Everyone in today's business, whether you're in education, whether you're in the private sector, public sector, whatever sector you're in, you want the best talent, because the best talent typically has the best ideas. And the best ideas are the genesis for innovation. So if you're taking credit for the work that other folks within your organization have come forth with and have nurtured and have grown and have fostered and have cultivated, there's going to be some resentment there. And they're going to feel like they're being taken advantage of. So the typical thing we want to do there is we all want to rise together. So if there is someone else on your team that's come up with that idea and you have helped to shepherd that idea to its fruition, and maybe even beyond that, you have helped to increase scalability for that idea. We obviously want to acknowledge you, but what do we also want to do? We want to acknowledge those that came before us, that actually brought the idea forward. We rise together. Number 9, no respect for employees. This one's real simple. This one's real easy. We should be operating with a mantra of mutual respect, regardless of levels, whether someone is above you, whether someone is below you, whether someone on an organizational chart, or whether someone's lateral to you on an organizational chart. There should be mutual respect because, again, as I said a few moments ago, at the beginning of each day and the end of each day, we are all human beings. Number 10, little to no self-awareness. Now, if you are this type of leader, or you've been told you're this type of leader, or you know someone that is this type of leader, one of the best ways to increase self-awareness is to have the right people in your inner circle. You know, you guys hear me post about that often, about making sure that you check who is in your inner circle and making sure that the folks that are in your inner circle will tell you the truth, that they'll be authentic and they'll be real with you. So if you know someone that has little to self-awareness, if you're a part of their inner circle, try to go ahead and steer them towards things that would have them develop a greater awareness. And that comes through sharing in conversation, exchanging of ideas, and dialogue. Number 11 is a sense of entitlement rather than a sense of duty, responsibility to the team. And a sense of entitlement basically says, I am due this, I am privileged, I should be different from everyone else. Rather than saying, I've never forgotten where I've come from, I am a person that represents the people. And when we do that, that endears our leadership efforts to those that we lead, those that we influence, those that we're privileged to guide along the way of the great work that we're doing. So we do not have a sense of entitlement, we have a sense of duty. Duty to self, and duty to our team, and duty to a larger organization as a whole, and really, to be very honest with you, duty to humankind. Number 12, and this is the last one, we've come to the end of the list. This type of leader expects all employees to be a carbon copy of them. Now, we always know, especially for those of us that are in education, that every child is different. Every adult is different. That's what makes us as human beings unique and great. So as leaders, should we expect everyone in our organization to be the same as we are? If everyone is the same as we are, we're going to be limited to just one perspective when we're looking at things. So a great leader values a plethora of opinions and a plethora of ideas, concepts, and personalities that are not the same as theirs. And when we understand that, what we see is those different personalities are many times complementary to the work that we're trying to do through our own leadership style or personality. That's impact. So there you have it. There is the list of the 12 traits of bad bosses from the Forbes article. I'll go ahead and I'll put that Forbes article up on the screen for you again. You'll see that information. But until next time, remember, feed your brain, feed your soul, and grow your role. That's impact the right way. See you next time. That's impact
The right way.
That's impact